Hello everyone, it's Friday, the start of the weekend, and we're going to make easy meals today. And follow along with me, and whatever your family likes, get their opinions. But my husband, he likes beef, and I try to have it once a week for him. And I don't have any beef in the freezer, so that's why I pulled out this canned beef. And it's really good canned beef, and it's very tender. So I know we have bell peppers, and we have onions, and we have rice. So what comes to mind? An Asian dish, which is delicious, by the way. And I wonder if you like it too. Let me know. Pepper steak. Let's make some pepper steak. First thing I'm going to do is add some apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar. I'm going to do about a half a cup. I'm going to make my sauce. That's the first thing I'm going to do so the flavors can marinate while the peppers are cooking. Peppers and onions are cooking. So I'll just do a fourth a cup of soy sauce. Brown sugar. At least a couple tablespoons, I'd say. Ginger. We're going to use cornstarch also. So I'll just let that marinate for a little while. Now we're going to chop up some bell peppers and onions. We're going to use about half of each. We also have some instant rice over here. We just cook it, a bag of rice in water. That's my favorite way to do it. It's very time saving. So we'll just stir it around and cook it for about 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, until it softens and everything is tender. So our vegetables have stir-fried for quite a while now, but these peppers, they still need to be cooked a little longer. We're going to go ahead and add our special sauce and minced garlic and stir that in. This is looking really good. We're going to hold off on adding our canned beef because it's already cooked, of course. And we will hold that. We will add that as soon as the vegetables are more tender. Also add salt and pepper according to taste. The peppers are tender. We're going to go ahead and add the beef. I drained it and I put the liquid in another pan. I'll probably make some gravy with that or another dish. Go ahead and add beef chunks. And here we have our pepper steak as soon as the beef warms up. And you can put this over rice
or noodles.
And I'll show you the presentation in just a moment. And here's what the dish looks like with the rice. I believe we need some green with this though. If you have Chinese parsley, which is the same as cilantro, you can use that. I think I'm going to do scallions. So now that my husband's craving for beef is going to be satisfied through this dish, pepper steak, I can look in the refrigerator and come up with some kind of soup to make him. So I'll look at the leftovers that I put down yesterday from the freezer and see if anything's thawed out, defrosted enough to use.
Let me see here. I did pull out a chicken, but it's completely frozen. It's still frozen. It's going to take another day or two to thaw out completely. That will be Sunday dinner, Sunday or Monday dinner. Okay, so what do we have here? There is some chicken that I defrosted from a previous meal. So, see what we can use here. I'm going to pull out that breast, and I think he loves legs, so he can have this leg with the stuffing for a meal tomorrow.
Because I'm pretty sure he's going to want the pepper steak for dinner tonight. Although this food is partly frozen, I can still use it for my husband's lunch or dinner tomorrow, and I have him a plate already with the stuffing, the chicken leg, and the green beans that I'm thawing out. He's going to microwave it. However, he likes me to freshen up a dish usually. And with stuffing, I know he would like some homemade gravy. From the can of beef, I have some broth here, and I'll just make a gravy, and I think I'll make an onion gravy. I'll show you what I'm going to do because I have an ingredient from the pantry I need to use up because it's getting old. In my pantry, I have this onion soup mix I've had for quite a while, and it's just about a third a package. And we're going to go ahead and pour that in here. My husband loves beefy flavored gravies. He doesn't care if beef gravy is with a chicken dish. That doesn't matter to him. Plus, we're going to have extra gravy for another meal coming up. But I want some extra beef flavor, so I'm going to add a little bit of bouillon. Turn the flame on and heat it up. I added a cornstarch slurry with just a little milk and some cornstarch stirred in. And I put it in the broth, and now we have a nice gravy. I'll give it a taste test, see if it needs anything. So the onion soup mix, the gravy does not need any salt. Now it's a little thin. I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to do a little more of this cornstarch slurry. Whisk that in right away. It actually tasted too salty to me. This should mellow out the flavor and thicken the gravy. I did add a little water to mellow it out. It was too salty. I just remembered I used beef bouillon also, which has sodium. So to cut back on the salt, I added water. And this did thin it out, but my husband's okay with thin gravy. I put it over the stuffing. I think he'll like this meal tomorrow for lunch or dinner. A small plate for myself. This will be probably my lunch today. So I'm going to cut up this leftover chicken breast. It's going to be real easy, and I'll show you why. Well, the chicken's already done. Not only is the chicken already done, but the noodles I had thawed out also. They're already done. So these I'll add in at the end. I'm going to add some of that gravy so that way I don't have to cook an onion. This has onion flavor in this gravy. Here I've got about 4 cups of chicken broth. I'm just going to add some of that onion gravy to give it an onion flavor. But my husband loves onion in everything, and I do too, really. Everything's savory. That way I don't have to cut up an onion. That will save time. There we go. I think that will give it plenty of flavor. I've got a little vinegar in here, apple cider vinegar too, to give it a little tang. We have mixed vegetables. This will make it so much easier. I don't have to cut up carrots. I don't have to cut up celery or anything. Everything's in here that I'm going to use. Go ahead and add that. And we're almost done. The main thing we needed to do was to heat up the chicken broth. This soup is cooked long enough. I'm going to turn it off. Now we're going to add our chicken and our noodles. They were in the freezer too. I only added half of the noodles that you saw in that container. We will have more noodles for, instead of mac and cheese, we enjoy cheesy noodles. Here we have our chicken noodle vegetable soup. Now let's get ready for the next meal, which is going to be salmon loaf and cheesy noodles and Brussels sprouts. I have my canned salmon in a bowl, and I'm smashing down the little bones. That provides calcium. Some people remove them. That's your option. Those are perfectly edible and full of calcium. So I smashed as many bones as I could find. And I'm going to add a beaten egg. Half a cup of milk. Half a cup of cracker crumbs smashed. Just a little salt and pepper. Mix that around real well. Put it in a pre-sprayed loaf pan. Spread it evenly. Let's get her in the oven. 350 Fahrenheit, preheated. At least 45 minutes. Forgot to add the melted butter. I don't know why that's needed, but I'll just mix that in there a little bit since I forgot it. Yeah, better safe than sorry. I'll put it back in the oven.
I will make the cheese sauce for our cheesy noodles. A cup of shredded cheese, a cup of milk, turn on the heat on the stove, a little garlic salt, a little crushed pepper. We're going to whisk that in as the cheese begins to melt, and then we'll do our cornstarch slurry. Go ahead and do the cornstarch slurry. A fourth a cup of milk and a tablespoon of cornstarch. Stir that in. Stir that together. Little patience on my part, and the cheese is very well melted. Okay, now it's time to add the cornstarch slurry. Throw that in there. Whisk immediately until this really thickens. The cheese is ready. For my husband, I'm doing cheesy noodles. So I'm going to put some of that cheese sauce over the noodles. Mix that in. I got rice for myself. I want cheesy rice. So that way I can go gluten-free. There we go. All right, we have our side dishes. One of our side dishes. We have another one to come. I've got half a package of Brussels sprouts, frozen Brussels sprouts that I microwaved for 5 minutes. Here's the brand. So I'm going to save half a package for another meal for Dan and I for next week. I'm going to cut these larger ones in half, but the tiny ones I'm just going to leave whole. And the pan is sprayed too with cooking spray, just to be on the safe side. So these are already done. I just want to give them that roasted flavor that is so good. So I'm going to bake them the last 15 minutes alongside, 10 or 15 minutes alongside the salmon loaf. Turn them over. Now, we don't need a whole lot. And this is olive oil I'm using. It's not seedy oil. I use very little seedy oil. Now we'll do just a little salt and pepper. I could use sea salt or kosher salt, but I choose to use table salt. I'm going to put these in the oven. While I've got a few minutes to spare while the salmon loaf and Brussels sprouts are baking, I'm going to make dessert and or breakfast. We'll start with some yogurt down at the bottom of each small clear glass. Pineapple. These are small chunks. A generous amount. And last but not least, granola on top. Here's our pineapple yogurt parfaits. Salmon loaf is done. It's a small one. I could have doubled the rest. So you can double the recipe in a loaf pan. And then we didn't do very many Brussels sprouts. It's just 2 of us, and I wanted to save the other half a bag for another meal. We have our side dishes. He's got cheesy noodles, and I've got cheesy rice. I've already tasted everything except the salmon loaf. So that's what I'm going to be trying. Now I'm going to try the salmon loaf. It's good. But salmon patties taste better because they have onion and dill. And the recipe didn't call for neither one of those. But the dill weed and the onion would be really good in this. So I will make this again. It saves time.
where I don't have to stand over a skillet and turn the patties over. I will link the recipes in the description under this video. I hope I inspired you to kickstart your weekend with these healthy, delicious meals, which are super easy to prepare. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.